next few days, you will meet the elite of healthcare startups in Europe. The EIT Health Catapult program supports the development of the most promising European healthcare startups through training and competition. For the last few weeks, 42 startups in biotech, medtech, and digital health have been working hard and received high-quality training in areas like business modeling, investment strategies, deals negotiation, and pitch training. I want to congratulate the teams for making it to this semi-final. It really is an amazing accomplishment, and I cannot wait for our audience to meet you all. We are joined today by over 700 people from all over Europe, academics, healthcare professionals, company representatives, and investors. Thank you so much for being with us. These semi-finals are an excellent opportunity to gain access to an elite group of European startup companies. They are keen to meet and collaborate with strong partners to take their next steps forward. Our journey will be lasting to the end of this week, and I invite you all to join us on that trip. Now, let's take a look at our program for today. It will be an exciting mix of 13 startup pitches, and each semi-finalist has 5 minutes to present to our jury, and we will be very strict when it comes to those 5 minutes. Then we switch to the jury. Another 5 minutes for them to ask questions and get answers. During the day, we have incorporated some short and inspiring keynotes just to share some insights into different areas of healthcare innovation. And of course, there's a full hour of networking opportunity to connect with investors, the other delegates, and of course, the startups themselves. So please join our matchmaking platform to schedule these meetings. Today, you can meet each other between 3:30 and 4:30 in this afternoon, or any of the following days. It's good to know that the platform will be open next week as well, Monday the 26th and Tuesday the 27th of October. So there's plenty of time to schedule meetings. And then of course today at 5 p.m. we will announce the winners in our awards ceremony. So stay with us to learn who makes it through to the finals in December. We've incorporated plenty of breaks just for you to stretch your legs, get some fresh air, and enjoy some food and drinks. Now, before I introduce our jury to you, I would like to mention our partners. First of all, EIT Health, Cap Digital, Catapult co-leading partner, Medical Valley, and the supporting nonprofit network, BioRN. Of course, as well, a huge thank you to this year's sponsors who've made today possible. First of all, Amazon Web Services, L3S Partnership and Beardis Group, L'Alliance, and McDermott, Will, and Emery. We will discover more about the sponsor awards later on in the program. And now, I would like to welcome our international jury panel. Our jury has a background in renowned institutions and a mix of expertise in venture capital, equity investment, and the technical sector. They will have the enormous task on deciding who will be the 2020 Catapult finalists. To do so, they will look at the level of innovation, impact, investment potential, and market opportunity. And those are just some of the criteria they will be looking at. Let's get to know them a little better. First of all, I'd like you to meet Aidan Flanagan, and he will then hand over to his fellow jury members. Aidan, welcome today.
Hi, my name is Aidan Flanagan. I work for Boston Scientific. I've been with them about 25 years in a variety of R&D roles, and I now work for corporate research in Boston Scientific. I'm based in Galway in Ireland. Nice to meet you.
Wonderful, Aidan. We go to our next juror.
Morning, Florian Ludwig. I'm based out of Utrecht, the Netherlands. I'm investment manager with Tuya Capital. We are a early stage healthcare investor. We invest across MedTech, biotech, and digital health with a focus on the Benelux and Germany.
Welcome, Florian. We move over to Marianne.
Good morning, I'm Marianne from Denmark. I have more than 30 years experience in the healthcare and medtech sector and started up 6 companies, sold 2, closed 2, and 2 are still in operation. I've written a book about medtech marketing, today used in several universities, and presently I'm heading Specific Care, a sales and distributor company of medtech products towards the public and private healthcare market.
Thank you for being with us today, Marianne. We move over to Fabrice Rosenstiel.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. So my name is Fabrice. I'm based out of Paris, and I've been running different businesses for different companies, from G Healthcare to CoClear, and most recently Digital, where it's a MedTech and digital health company. And on a personal basis, I'm business angels in the healthcare sector, and I'm very pleased again to be there with you today. Let me then introduce Roland, please.
Hi, my name is Roland Kozłowski. I'm an investor, mentor, and company director. I've had around 30 years experience in life science business. One of my key roles at present is executive chairman of Oncotherics Limited, and my role there is raising finance for the business. In the past, I've started and sold a couple of life science businesses. Thank you.
So glad you can join us today. And we move to Sascha Berger.
Good morning, everybody. I'm pleased to be on this panel, or the jury. I'm a partner with TBM Capital, one of the most experienced European-based funds. I'm based in Munich, and we're investing out of a $500 million fund these days across multiple life science sectors, amongst them, of course, MedTech. And as I said, I'm looking very much forward to the discussion, the pitches today.
Welcome as well. And last but not least, Todd Snowden.
Good morning. I'm Todd Snowden. I'm founder of Ascent Business Advisors. We're a strategic consulting company that focuses primarily on tech transfer, startups, and early stage companies in the medical device, MedTech, digital health, and IVD spaces. And I have about 35 to 40 years of experience in the medical space.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, jury, and good luck on the big task at hand today. Now, for everyone, feel free to share your experience today on social media using our hashtag #HealthCatapult. I'd love to see some pictures, just your experiences and insights that you gathered today. To connect with the amazing semi-finalists and with each other, do not hesitate to book meetings on our networking platform, and make sure to check if you may have any pending requests. A few practical things to point out. We are broadcasting a live stream, and that means refreshing this page will lose your current feed. Now, should that happen, you can simply click the link in the invite email again. A little trick to have the optimum viewing experience is to click the icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the video window, just so you can watch full screen. Should your video freeze, just click anywhere in the video window to restart it. And to optimize your networking meetings this afternoon, we ask you to use Chrome browser for your video calls. Should there be any technical difficulty, don't hesitate to send an email to eitcatapult2020@ashfieldhealthcare.com, or simply reply to the email with the invite. Without any further ado, I would like to hand over to Kurt Höller, Director of Business Creation in EIT Health, and he will be joined by Anna Werner today. Kurt, welcome.
Thank you, Annemarie. Thanks a lot and welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to now open the second day of the semifinals, the MedTech Day. And I'd like to use that opportunity to tell you a bit more about EIT Health, our accelerator, and why the European Health Catapult, the EIT Health Catapult, is so perfectly positioned in there. EIT Health has three goals. We have been founded in 2015, ramped up our activities in 2016, and since then, we have those three goals: strengthening healthcare systems in Europe, promoting better health of citizens, and contributing to a sustainable health economy in Europe. And the latter is something that we will focus on today, because startups, innovation through entrepreneurs, that's significantly contributing to the healthcare economy. EIT Health is present all over Europe. So you can find our offices everywhere where you see kind of this green writing, but we also cover other regions like the ones in pink, where the pinkish ones, where we have our InnoStars regions. The yellow dot is our headquarters in Munich. So you always should have someone close to you in your region. We do not only have offices all over Europe. course, we also have partners all over Europe. EIT Health is a partner community. Actually, it's a community of trust, of very important and very recognized partner institutions. First of all, we have 56 industry representatives from pharma, medtech, and digital. We have 44 universities. There is also healthcare providers like university hospitals. There is research institutions, pairs, which is very special and very important, incubators and clusters. These are highly involved, especially also today in the European Health Catapult, and cities and regions. If you look a bit deeper into that, you will see that in the industry, 6 out of the top 10 global pharma and medtech companies are partners of EIT Health. If you look into the accelerators, the global accelerators, 3 out of the top 10 global accelerators are part of our network. If you look into the academic landscape, all the top 5, according to the Reuters Innovation Ranking, are part of EIT Health, and almost 50% of the top 25. And if you also look to the power that we have in terms of healthcare providers, 58 million patients annually, and investors, 2.6 billion euro investment volume, that is certainly a lot. Just to show you a few logos of the partners, the core partners, we have many more associate partners. You will recognize many familiar logos. The power of this strong network was extremely visible, especially in March, April, when the pandemics hit the whole globe. We have listed so many community response activities that our partners performed and where our partners contributed to find solutions. We also contributed ourselves to make connections when a partner had a potential solution but needed a partner, another partner to implement that solution. Our alumni network has contributed significantly, and we also contributed financially. We have ramped up the rapid response program, where we have spent many millions of euros in new activities that contributed to solutions. We have extended our Head Start deadline, which was just before the shutdown, the lockdown hit Europe. We had the deadline of Head Start, and we just decided that we expand that deadline by another 10 days and allow specifically applications that are targeting COVID-19. And that way we could support another 20 very promising activities and projects in that area. And we have established our Startup Rescue Instrument that allowed us to support 11 companies that were not able to close their financing rounds due to the pandemics, because investors tended to invest in their own portfolio and did not invest into new companies. We invested 11 times 500,000 euro in very promising companies that we in the end saved through that rescue instrument. Now let me talk a bit about the EIT Health Accelerator that I am leading as a director of business creation. In the past years, 2016 to 2019, and these numbers do not include the 2020 numbers because we count at the end of the year. In the first 4 years of existence, our startups, the startups that we have supported, have attracted almost 250 million euro. They have brought 87 products and services on the market. In total, it was a number of more than 750 startups that we have in our portfolio since or at the end of 2019, and now in 2020, that's even more. And a great success last year, UBI Global has ranked us in their global UBI ranking as one of the 2 most promising young accelerator programs worldwide. That was a big success for our young organization. Now, what do we do at the EIT Health Accelerator? Do we focus only on late stage companies or only on very early stage ones? No, we have provided a full supply chain for startups or entrepreneurs starting very early stage, coming with a great idea out of academia. For example, a postdoc having patented, having filed some IP on a potential solution. And then they have to consider, do I go to one of the big industry players and do I forget about all my research that I have done personally, where I have filed my IP, where I think I can have some major impact? Or do I want to create my own company? We have many of those cases where great postdocs from universities have used our programs to develop their first business models together with many European partners that always has to start already at a European level and then turn it into a real company. We then move forward to the scale-up phase. And scale-up, that's exactly where all the startups that we'll pitch today are in. Scale-up is where companies need visibility and money. And both can be achieved, and both is available in our European Health Catapult and the EIT Health Catapult. And then once you are successful in the home market, you have to expand. You have to grow your business at least on a European level, but ideally on a global level. And that is supported through the scale-up activity line. You never should forget that in parallel of this whole supply chain, you have to validate your ideas. You need mentors, coaches, living labs and test beds, institutions that can provide you feedback of what you think of if your assumptions, if they are right. And you have to do that with your very first idea, where you start your company, but you also have to validate if a global market is also ready and if there is a need for your product. So validation along the whole supply chain is extremely important. Across the whole organization, we have defined 4 pathways where we want to support. One is access to knowledge, another one is access to stakeholders, access to market, and access to finance. And that is especially true for the accelerator pillar supporting startups. With access to stakeholders, I bring a very special example here because last week we have announced the winners of our global grand challenge on healthy longevity. This global grand challenge was launched and initiated by the National Academy of Medicine of the United States. It was a great pleasure to run through the whole competition and through the whole process together with the president of this very renowned academy. And last week we were able to announce the 21 winners that have won the global challenge in Europe. So EIT Health was the partner of NAM to implement that grand challenge in Europe. Another very good example, and I can't explain all the programs that we offer at EIT Health, but another very good example is the mentoring coaching network. We have almost 400 mentors signed up and they are all vetted. So you can't just register as a mentor. We have an interview with every mentor to identify if they really have a strong expertise, if they are experts in their domain. They enter a framework contract. So for the company, it's very easy. They can just use that framework contract to get in touch with the mentors. And that turns out to be very successful. The satisfaction rate is extremely high. A second example on that slide is our Bridge-Out program. In our Bridge-Out program, we have changed a bit the model of usual accelerators and incubators. We have put together around 40 top, we call it catalyzers, clusters, accelerators, incubators across Europe. And we have put them together. And in parallel, we select top startups out of Europe, from all over Europe, around 40 per year. And we provide some money to the startups. So the startups receive a 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 euro voucher. And with that money, with that cash money that they receive, they can select the catalyzer they want to collaborate with. So we turn it around. Usually the startup has to apply with the catalyzer. In our case, the catalyzers apply with the startup to provide them services. We also provide a lot of investment instruments. Very early stage, we provide a truly pan-European crowdfunding platform. That means that we help companies to raise money from private people, from medical doctors, from experts in that field, from all over Europe. That is something that has not been available before, and EIT Health has created the legal framework for that in partnership with our partner AskVest. Second instrument is our investor network. We have local investor roundtables all over Europe, and you can get in touch with them. But you can also position your startup on that investor network platform so that it is digitally available for all investors within that network. And the last really exciting thing is our Venture Center of Excellence together with the European Investment Fund. Together with EIF, we have identified already 2.5 years ago, actually, we have identified that there is a huge need to also encourage corporate investors in Europe to invest into European companies. They usually look into US companies, but we want to provide some more help and guidance and also support and a trigger to invest into European companies. Therefore, EIF, together with EIT Health, has created that instrument where we provide them co-investments. So the EIF is co-investing and is leveraging their investments if a corporate investor is co-investing together with a private investor that is listed by EIF. And also in the jury today, we have a lot of investors that might be interested in that approach. I think it is something really huge, as the investment volume is between 15 and 65 million euro per company that we can realize with that instrument. And I've mentioned already in the beginning, the rescue instrument that we have launched this year, specifically for the pandemics, was something very special. As you can see, many the startup investments have grown very significantly in the past years. Now let me come to the EIT Health Catapult. In the past years, in the past 5 years of existence, 189 startups have made it into the semifinals and finals. And many, many more have gone through a regional selection. They have met 250 or even more investors and have access to a community of more than 2,500 people. We select the startups, and all the startups that we present now know very well what I'm talking about. We select the startups in a very, very tough and very thorough process on a regional level. They have to hand in a written application, then the best ones will be invited to pitch in front of a regional jury, and then the best ones, the best two per each category, MedTech, Biotech, and Digital Health, will be invited to the semifinals, which is today. And then the best 50% will proceed to our annual summit, where we have the finals. Right now, we are on the second day of the 3 online semifinals. Usually they are physically, but this time they are online. You will see all those great companies pitching over the 3 days, and the best 50% will proceed to the finals. Last year it was an exceptional event with more than 1,000 participants in Paris. This time it will be implemented also virtually on December 3rd, embedded in our 4 days series of summit events. This was the celebration, the awarding ceremony last year. Was a great event in Paris. Unfortunately, we cannot have such a physical event, but there still might be some things that happen physically, some prizes like that one. But to talk about prizes, I would like to hand over to Anna Werner. Anna Werner from Medical Valley, a strong cluster in Bavaria, a strong MedTech cluster. So she is the right one to talk about the prizes for this MedTech semifinal. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Anne-Marie and Kurt, for opening this MedTech Pitch Day and giving us an introduction to EIT Health and the Catapult program. It is my great pleasure to now present the awards of the EIT Health Catapult competition. Today's winners will become the next 7 finalists to compete at the EIT Health Summit in December for cash prizes of up to 210,000 euros. What is more, they will gain the amazing opportunity to pitch their solution to the whole EIT Health network, one of the largest healthcare communities in the world. The winner of the Alex Castor Audience Award will have their logo displayed on the Nasdaq Tower in Times Square, New York, and be seen by millions of people, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And further, today's semi-finalists also stand a chance of winning a host of wonderful prizes from our Catapult sponsors. We are very excited to have joined forces with leading healthcare players this year. We are so happy to welcome our 4 sponsors. L3S Partnership and Verdus Group are global life science executive search consultancies. L'Alliance is a hospital-based life science integrator. And Amazon Web Services, the leader in on-demand cloud computing. Amazon will provide credits for their cloud solutions and access to technical and business training courses. McDermott, Will & Emery, one of the largest law firms in the US and globally. The winner will receive legal consultancy in licensing, IP, and transaction matters. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our partners for backing the Catapult teams throughout this entire process. All of the prizes with a combined total value of 800,000 euros will surely help to disrupt the European health technology market. With that said, I'd like to wish you all the very best of luck today, and will now hand back over to Anne-Marie to get the ball rolling on today's sessions. Thank you.
Kurt and Anna, thank you so much, and enjoy all these wonderful semi-finalists today. Kurt, we will be seeing you again for the awards ceremony later today. Making your healthcare listing a success has to be top of mind to many of you watching. Niclas Holmberg is Managing Director Listings Sweden at Nasdaq, and he will share with us 3 key success factors to make that happen. Niclas, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Anna-Marie, Kurt, Anna, and the rest of the great EIT team. First, I'm so happy to be part of this great event, and also happy to be part of the advisory board that you have put together with amazing people. And I'm really going to need the energy today, because when I had a great dinner yesterday with fantastic entrepreneurs and investors, and when I come back, they have changed the code to the main entrance. So I was spending 4 or 5 hours from midnight to 5 o'clock in the morning in the rain, in my car, and felt like a teenager. So that was but I also have the chance to reflect of a lot of good things in life. So, and again, I read this fantastic presentation in the catalog. So I think that will give me a lot of energy for the whole day. So in my speak today, I will talk a little bit about the European market, and especially related to MedTech, and then of course focus a little bit of the experience that I have in terms of going public, and especially going public in early stage. And I have been lucky to ring the bell around 300 times since I joined Nasdaq 2016. So I think I have some experience that I would love to share with you. So let's see. In terms of moving my slides, I have, yes, perfect. So again, my name is Niclas Holmberg. So in my job, I'm responsible for company listed on Nasdaq, both in Sweden, both our regulated market, but what is even more fun for our growth market. And for everyone that participates today, you see my email, and I will be happy to talk to all of you. I never turn down a meeting, so just you see my email and contact me, and we can continue the discussion. If we can move, next slide. So why am I here today, and why did I start talking to EIT? We have a fantastic, unique market up in the north, and especially in Sweden. So looking to MTF, a multi-trading platform, we actually have more company listed in Nasdaq First North than the rest of Europe. And how could that happen? That goes back that we have an extremely strong equity culture in Sweden, and we have managed all the pension fund, portfolio manager, law firms, financial advisors to find a model that starts working with growth company. So when I'm out there talking in Europe, everyone say, why don't you start a Nasdaq in France and Belgium and so on. And that is not really about Nasdaq. This is about the equity platform. So everyone that work here, your own market, try to make every stakeholders involved. And I also know that our competitors like Euronext aim trying to do the same, but try to be active yourself as well. So what we actually, it was a milestone for us because we believe that if we can list that many companies, in Swedish ones, why don't we should open up our market for non-Nordic companies as well? So I'm happy to say that we see more and more companies listed with us that are non-Nordic. And for an example, a few weeks I rang the bell with a Swiss MedTech company, and they tried to list in Switzerland, but they failed. And then they look into Nasdaq First North, and they were oversubscribed 7 times after just a few days of roadshow. So they managed actually to list a company in Sweden, and the share price went up. So again, now we also listed a German company recently. So we will try to be open and to see if we can help non-Nordic companies as well to grow with Nasdaq. We can switch. So I'm not going to go through this deep, but this is just how the MedTech sector looks like today in Europe. So you will see different exchanges on this slide. So again, I'm happy to see that it comes more and more also early stage listing in the rest of Europe. So it's not just a positive thing happen with us. Also, I see other exchanges do a lot of good initiatives. So hopefully, if we talk maybe within 3 years, this number will look that, for example, Spain, Italy, and Germany will also have more early stage listing, because I think that really will benefit Europe. Next slide. And let's actually say the same with a biotech company, that Nasdaq really stands out in the Nordic. But this is not a marketing session, so move to the next slide. So why should a company go early to the market? You need to think like going public is more than raising capital, is more than using your platform for liquidity. It might happen that you have a solution as a MedTech company that you sell to maybe the largest university hospital in US. So maybe you are just 30 people, maybe you founded a company just a few years ago. Then you can use the credibility and visibility that comes with a listing. So we see more and more company listed with us, and I think that's the same with the rest of Europe, that want the visibility and credibility. And so when going public, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, is actually to see the whole picture. And it's always good when you have more peers when you list into a market, because if you have more peers, it means that investors will look into that market, because they always want to compare different companies to each other. We can move to the next slide. So again, when considering go public to the in an early stage, I get so much questions about IPO, how much capital should I raise, and so on. This slide show in purple the capital raised through IPO, and the blue color, light blue, shows secondary, actually capital raised for a company already listed. So this is the power of the public market, that you can set a strategy together with the advisors and then come back to the market if you deliver on your words and raise capital maybe 1 year later, then go for the second round, 2 years later, third round, and fourth round. So the market is very supportive. And also if you believe that you have an acquisition strategy, you can use the power from all the investors. Next slide, please. So again, I have about 6-7 pitch meetings a week, and I have listed 300 companies. And so I would like to share some experience for an early stage IPO. And the most important thing is the IPO story. So why should an investor, even if you're a business angel, a retail investor, or portfolio manager, invest in you in early stage? It needs to have a growth story. So first you need to describe why is this sector interesting? Why is that one going to be important for the upcoming years? The second thing is, of course, what makes your product or service unique? How come that your company will have a part of this market share? So that is absolutely the two most important things to be able to explain to investors. And even better if you can find peers. So actually you can say that we are the next Implantica, for example. We are in the same field, but we have an even better product. Investors will love to hear that, because some of them have already made a good journey with some of those companies. So to be able to explain your business and relate it to peers is important. Another thing is, why do you choose the public market? You need to be able to explain why the public markets is the right thing for you. Some investors would say, why don't you use private money, business angels until your market cap is more than 400 million euro and then go public? Then you need to say, this is not just about raising capital. We actually want to go from being a local service provider to be global. And we believe that the stock exchange, the public market, can help us with that. It gives visibility, but also credibility that make it easier for the buyer of our service or product to do business with us, because now we are an open and transparent company. Quite often I received questions about exit and exit strategy. And related to that, I would say that at least for us at Nasdaq First North, we don't have any rules related to lockups. But the market itself knows what they want to see and what they don't want to see. For example, if you as a founder have worked very hard for 10 years, bootstrap, eating noodles, and then you do a successful listing, of course, you will be able to sell some shares. Of course, everyone thinks it's great if you can buy a nice house, nice car, boat, and so on. But they also want to see that you have so much share, so you will still fight every day to grow your business. And that is the same with other anchor investors or investors that have been there for a long time. They are completely fine to sell some shares. So in terms of exit strategy, what I like with that is based on logic. You will understand why advisors say that you're allowed to say 20% of the shares or 40% of the shares. And you can say to yourself, the more important you are not allowed to sell that much shares. Another thing that actually is about preparation. In terms of your IPO story, you also will be judged related to your board members. So take your time and find the right, the right board members. Is so much better to maybe wait 4 or 5 months to find the right one instead of going for your neighbor or the one that you work with together, because the board members really make sense when it comes to IPO. Also, you need to take a decision if you, in terms of accounting standard, if you want to use the local standard or IFRS. I would say in terms of going public, IFRS really show that you are a little bit more like a mature company. So I think that could be important. Also, in terms of preparation, if you, as a founder of the company, want to be a CEO for the public market, you need to be able to communicate to the market. I know many CEOs that talking to advisors, they want to be the CEO, but in the end, they end up as a head of R&D. So practice, practice, practice. You need to be able to sell your company to investors. That is gonna be an important part of your day-to-day work as a public company. Finally, communication. You need to set a strategy around communication. And remember, your shareholders are your best friends. So be interactive with them. And maybe it's not always that something had happened with your own company. Maybe you are develop product and that takes time. But then you can talk about the market itself. You can say that this sector has grown rapidly in the US, or we see an interest for that product in Latin America or China and so on. So communication is so important. So either you as a CEO want to do it yourself, or you have someone else within the company that would like to, do that business and take that as a part of the job. And if you don't have experience from the public market, it's always good to have that within your board members. So I think this was, in 15 minutes to talk about all the success factors. Is so much more to say, but you have my email address, niclas.holmberg@nasdaq.com. Just send me an email, add me on LinkedIn, and then we can continue that discussion a little bit later on. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you for you listening to me today.
Niclas, thank you so much. And also very nice that you invited everyone to connect with you, so please do. Carbon neutrality and eco-friendliness are themes that we see all around the world, not the least for MedTech companies. Our next speaker says your decarbonization aspects will be key to the future business in the MedTech domain. Joining us is Blanca Jordan, and Blanca is Health and Life Sciences Consulting Manager for Southern Europe at Atos. Blanca, go ahead.
Hi, good morning. That photo is much better than myself now, huh? Okay, working from home is doing a lot of damage, guys. Okay, I will try to do my best to move my slides. Okay, so here we are. So first of all, thank you very much for having me here today. I'm very happy I have this 15 minutes opportunity to talk to you guys and to go with you also with other aspects that you may take into account into your business, apart from what you are doing, that is great. So, what is the Earth Overshoot Day? I guess there are many people that already knows this, but the Earth Overshoot Day is the day where in the year where actually we have consumed all the resources of the planet, one planet, for the human mankind. This year it was the 22nd of August, and this date was so late because actually because of the COVID situation, right? But normally it's earlier in the year. That means that from that moment on until December, we are living with resources that really do not correspond to that year, to the full group of humans. There is now a movement that is Move the Date that is trying to push that forward. And all of us has a word to say not just from our personal perspective, but also from our business perspective. Well, my name is Blanca Jordan. This photo is much more realistic. You can see my face. And what I do right now is I am the responsible of the Health and Life Sciences Consulting for Southern Europe, meaning Spain, France, Portugal, and Italy, in Atos. I have a 20 years career of experience in research and innovation and making technology transfer from that field to the market also. Atos is an IT company. We are 120,000 people around the world, and we have presence in all the markets. And we are in a permanent learning process on how to reach our customers and which are the needs that we as a company have to comply, and also our customers' needs and let's say concerns or intentions. You may be thinking, why should I be caring about the green? Remember this sentence I'm going to tell you. Green is the new black. So is in the healthcare and life science industry, we are willing to move from managing from managing illness to managing health, okay? And we already know, and the facts are there, that climate change has a very negative impact in the healthcare. We have over 3 million deaths annually across the world because of our population. But the estimation is that 92% of the people really live in places where the limits are much higher than the recommended by the WHO. We are expecting that the numbers will be increasing. So from 2030 to 2050, there will be an additional 250,000 deaths per year due to these factors. It's kind of luck, right? Also, if we are as a sector be considered as a country with emissions, we will be in the 5th place as an industry. 4.4% of the global emissions are related to the healthcare industry. And we also know that the direct damage caused to health is estimated in between 2 to 4 billion per year by 2030. It's kind of luck, but we really need to change this color into new opportunities for our business, including yours, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to, I did it. So in this movement to managing illness, to really manage health, we can see how we did the exercise, okay? We would like to have healthy population, including new services in precision medicines or environmental disease avoidance or material avoidance to the planet. And also we are willing to have more healthy business with better supply chains, with sustainable productions, with care transformation and smart by design, always taking this new color from the heart of your business. Because you are not alone in here, guys. We are not alone. It's big companies, it's small companies, it's all of us in the ecosystem who really would like to push into this direction. But big examples normally help on understanding the issue, right? Some of these companies and institutions are already willing to push into this direction. For instance, Johnson & Johnson is committed to reduce in 80% by 2050 their absolute emissions. That is a lot. But if you go to the NHS as a big healthcare player, they are willing to reach net zero emissions in 2050. So we are talking actually in 30 years' times. That is, less than a lifetime. So with all these actors involved, believe me, they are your customers, remember that? Take that into account. So we started to do the exercise and we say, hey, what can we do? Which are our businesses? What can we offer? Or what can we think that can be greener or better? And we came with a range of possibilities. We can improve our health IT operations. We can provide telemedicine services. We can work in the smart factories, digital hospitals, or in digital twins for certain processes. And we did the exercise ourselves. And we took one of our biggest value chains that is around the P4 medicine, the predictive, preventative, personalized, and participatory. And we say, hey, in this value chain, what can we give as value? And we say, okay, we can provide telemedicine services that will reduce the emissions of carbon. We can also help in the telehealth part meaning not just when you're ill, just also in the preventative part, right? We can support new clinical processes to avoid visits, to reduce papers, to do small things here and there that will help us into this. And what we did was an exercise of providing the full range of services that we can do, just oriented to this new paradigm that we are facing. But now think about you. We as big players, we said, hey, we need to do this really. But what can you do? As Niclas was saying, the competence is very high and you really need to differentiate yourself. You are brilliant, guys. You are already here, and that is because of a reason. EIT Health is with you, working with you, because they know that you can do it very, very well. But now think differentiating factors. Think about something that can really increase or make you different from others, helping yourself and also your customers. So first thing you can do is to reduce your own footprint and start designing your green strategy. As we did, we are big players, but we say, hey, we really need to start thinking about this in a humble manner, because it's not just your business, your sustainability is also at play. Also, you can increase the value to your customers' roadmap. When they start thinking about this, you can be a key part, a valid piece on their own puzzle. And they can say, hey, this company, oh, they already have a strategy and they can assist us. They can think as we do, or as we are willing to do. It's not just a matter of being another one, it's being the one. And of course, you can increase your reputation because, as I said, green is the new black. Don't miss the train. Don't miss the opportunity to start thinking from the very beginning in a smart manner and in an integrated manner with the development of your product or your service. Make green in the core of all the value chains that you are already proposing. Because as you all know, there is no planet B, and we have no options on this. We are willing to go to Mars, but it looks like I will not see it, and I am not that old yet. So make sure that you have an A+ in this career, in this exam, and differentiate yourself from others in being at the core of all this change. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Blanca. I think we can say green is our new favorite color.